Get big storm.
I put it on another page too.
What is that for? You should do it, yeah. It's a phishing email.
Are you signed in? Are you signed in, Chris? You're okay? All right, everybody ready? Ready to rock and roll? Okay. All right, we'll call the meeting back to order at 7:51. Good evening, everyone. And would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? We're going to have Carly lead us in the pledge, and then if you would stand for a moment of silence in honor of our 41st president who was laid to rest today. Carly?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If everybody could please have a moment of silence for President George Herbert Walker Bush. I'll have a few more comments to make about President Bush at the end of the meeting, but if we can just observe a moment of silence today in his day of remembrance. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, and thank everyone for being here. Thank you everyone who's watching our live stream. And we will start with the emergency exits. Just to remind everybody, in the event of an emergency, please notice the exits to my right and to the rear of the room. In the event you are asked to evacuate, please do so accordingly and calmly. And also a reminder, I'm missing my little sheet. The district is a no smoking district. There's no smoking anywhere in the school, on the school, or anywhere around the school. Okay. Next item we have for the board consent agenda, that would be item number C, 1 through 5 for the consent. I don't think we have to pull the minutes out. Just double check that, right? Everybody who was here, yes. So we can take that entire consent agenda in its entirety, 1 through 5. Do we have a motion and a second to approve? Motion by Ms. Hunt, seconded by Mr. Nix. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of consent agenda item number C, 1 through 5, please raise your hand. Thank you. Put your hands down. Seeing all hands raised. The motion passes unanimously. I think I should have stated beforehand we were a little light in trustees, but we do have a quorum. Okay. Communications and announcements from Superintendent Gianni.
Yes, thank you. I'll start off with back on November 15th, the district had the pleasure of receiving a visit from Regent Roger Tillis. So we took the opportunity to share some of the wonderful things our district has to offer and to showcase a couple of our new district gems, namely the Frank B. Courtyard Learning Lab and our dual language magnet school at Brookhaven. President Felice and Mr. Small joined the visit, which began at Frank P. Long with a tour by Principal Wazinski of our new Courtyard Learning Lab. And next, we visited Mrs. Roush's 4th grade classroom where Regent Tillis read some poems to the class and taught the children a poem and explained what a regent does. Our next stop was Brookhaven Elementary School, where we received the tour of the school by Dr. Raymond, specifically the dual language program. We visited Mr. Deal's class, where he taught the class also a poem and explained to the class as well what a regent does. Mr. Tillis indicated he enjoyed his visit and that he would love to come back next time when it was warmer, particularly wanted to see the life skills class working at the farm. So we expect to see him again. So thanks, Dr. Regent Tillis, for thinking about us. Next item, and in response to an inquiry at our last Board of Education meeting concerning the number of bottles saved as a result of our new bottle filling stations installed in each of our buildings back in 2017, to date, a total of 339,436 bottles have been saved. We have 16 bottle filling stations throughout our 6 buildings, and we continue to look to replace any remaining traditional fountains when possible and feasible. The environmental savings for this initiative is quite significant, along with the financial savings passed along to students, parents, and families, as well as faculty, as a result of these bottle filling stations and not needing to purchase water bottles. Next item, as the board recalls, at our last meeting, the board approved absorbing administrative costs associated with replenishing funds in My School Box. That change was to take effect on December 1st. Shortly after December 1st, we learned that the change had not taken effect, with some 29 families being charged. It's an unfortunate error on My School Box part, and they're in the process of refunding all charges collected after December 1st, and the error has been corrected. Our apologies to the families affected. And finally, earlier today, I, along with President Felice, had the opportunity to attend dancing classrooms culminating events at Frank P. Long, the first of 3 this week. It was simply marvelous seeing students demonstrate some of the dances they have learned over the last 10 weeks. I would like to give a shout out to Miss Cynthia O'Leary from Mrs. Peter's class. Miss Cynthia escorted me onto the dance floor. You did a great job leading me and keeping me in step, so thank you, Miss Cynthia. And President Felice, that was all. Did you see me dancing?
I did.
Do we have videotape?
I thought I was pretty good.
We're thinking of bringing of dancing classrooms for the board retreat. That should be interesting. It wasn't. Okay. Carly, your report.
I just want to start by saying I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. I can't believe it's already December. With that being said, Stuco is very busy during this holiday season. We have started wrapping and packing shoe boxes, as well as collecting toys for our annual holiday toy drive. This provides less fortunate children in our community with gifts during the holiday season. In addition to that, the student council elves are ready to respond to the letters for Santa from the elementary students. We're looking to deliver those letters in later December, but we're not sure if that's happening yet. The student council members who are attending the LEAD conference in Washington, D.C. have been working really hard to raise money to help reduce the cost of this trip. Today, we held a very successful pizza and bake sale after school, which will go towards our DC funds. We are also selling eco-friendly, reusable water bottles and travel mugs. There are many different designs and colors available. I brought the little thing if anyone wants to take a look. You can just pass it on if you want to take a look. We're also looking to do a restaurant fundraiser in the near future. That's all I have for today.
Thank you very much. Ms. DeSanto.
Just a reminder that the holiday concerts at the high school will be on Tuesday, December 18th, and Thursday, December 20th, and they do begin at 7:30. So they are always enjoyable evenings, and hopefully people in the community, in addition to those of us who have been parents of high school students, will come out and enjoy the music.
Mr. Hicks.
I just wanted to give a shout out to some of our students that are a part of the Bellport High School TV station. I was at the Patchwork Theater's production of Nutcracker over the weekend, and some of the students actually approached me, and they were very kind and told me all about what they're doing behind the scenes at BHS TV. And I was thoroughly impressed, and we talked about increasing communication and the district social media and our mutual interest in that. So it was I would love to see them maybe honored here or something. Maybe do something for the BHS TV students, because what they're doing is really remarkable and really getting the word out to the whole school community at the high school.
And they're up to episode 3 at this point, I think
I
it is.
believe so, yeah. So I'm happy that we're moving forward with something like that within the district. So that's all I have.
Ms. Smith.
I attended the grand opening, the ribbon cutting for the new 7-Eleven in Brookhaven. It was very, very nice. The Center of Excellence, the students came, a few of them with Mr. Hogan, and they were awarded a check for $711 to start off their Center of Excellence, their business, and was joined by Dr. Burgess, President Felice and Dr. Griffin, right? Yeah, so that was nice, and I can't think of anything else right now.
You mentioned Dr. Curtis, Dr. Curtis.
Yeah, I said Dr. Burgess. I'm trying to think of anything else.
All right, I was very busy since our last meeting, so I took the liberty of writing it down, so bear with me if you want. It has been a busy couple of weeks since that meeting. As
Say something.
Yeah, that's true.
what I usually say
Yeah.
something that you forgot.
I always say.
That's why we're here. As Dr. Gianni already mentioned, I was able to join the visit from Regent Tillis to South Country, beginning with Frank P. Long and concluding with Brookhaven Elementary School. In spite of the unexpected snowfall that day, I was very impressed that the tour went off without a hitch. He was interested in, he didn't read many more poems at Brookhaven Elementary because he did want to get back on the road to get back home. We had accumulation of that snowfall that in the beginning unexpected. But thank you also to the principals, Brzezinski and Randall, for their enthusiastic welcome and accommodations. It really was a day to be proud of, and I look forward to him visiting our district. Regretfully, on the very next day, Friday, November 16th, I endured a callous prank affecting all of our students, family, faculty, and staff at Frank P. Long, and ultimately the Brookhaven Elementary School, and that's where a threat was called in. It was unfounded, but nevertheless, it took time away from our police agency, and our entire district was disrupted as a result. Thankfully, however, under the guidance of Dr. Gianni, with the support of everyone involved, school took place for Frank P. Long, uninterrupted at the Brookhaven Middle School. Did I say Brookhaven? Bellport Middle School. And that's because there were parent-teacher conference that day, so there was no school for the middle school, and we were able to utilize the school. It turned out to be a field trip for the students, which they thoroughly enjoyed. I paid a visit to the school later that afternoon just to see how things were going, and it was very gratifying to see that everyone came together in that crisis to make it work and make it an enjoyable experience for our students. Remember, the Board of Education believes that safety is our #1 priority, and we stand firmly behind administration in finding and bringing to justice the person or persons who were responsible for such a sad and insensitive act on behalf of all in our district. On Monday, November 19th, I attended the Leadership Committee led by Dr. Gianni, and thereafter received the following email about the leadership displayed by our district and its superintendent. And I just have a brief little email to read to you. It said, "Dearest friend, on the other day at the South Country Leadership Network meeting, I was very humbled to hear you publicly thank Dr. Gianni for all his dedication and good work that he's doing with our school district. I told you at the end of the meeting I would send you an email because the South Country Community Group wants you to know we feel exactly the same way. In the face of a difficult situation, we are very grateful that Dr. Gianni and you spoke so highly of our district. Please mention this at your next Board of Education meeting because the South Country community shares your thoughts. Thank you for all the good that you do in our community, and a special thank you to Dr. Gianni, signed South Country Community wants to do that." So congratulations on your job well done. It really was. It could have been a terrible situation, but it came together quite well. And I think also a shout out should go out to Dr. Colson because it was his school that we had to transport our students to, and he took charge along with his administrative team and made sure that it was a day worth remembering. On Wednesday, November 28th, I visited the Long Island Bowl at Patchogue to root on the opening season for the boys varsity bowling team. I'm told I'm the first Board of Education member to visit the bowling team. I was a bowler when I was in high school, so I grew up got fond memories. I grew up in that bowling alley. My grandfather used to be the lane mechanic for that bowling alley. So it did bring back great memories. I was able to meet Coach Reuter and several of the boys who were bowling that day. So shout out goes to 10th grader Joe Balsamo, 11th grader Lucas Viana, 10th grader Evan Zimach, 10th grader Gabriel Hamill, 7th grader Jesse Salinas, and 12th grader and Captain Bryce Reese. It was a wonderful day, and I enjoyed meeting the entire team. Ms. Hunt already mentioned that we attended the grand opening for 7-Eleven, and so I have nothing more to add to that, other than it was also a weather-related day, and our students and staff withstood that storm as well. So we had snow with Regent Tillis and a torrential
It
rainstorm.
was a nice student turnout.
It was a
Yeah, it
wonderful
was.
student turnout, and everybody was very excited. And 7-Eleven was selling hot dogs for 11 cents, and they were flying out the door. But it's a very nice 7-Eleven. I think it will benefit our community, and I thought it was a nice gesture for them to want to cement their involvement in the community by offering a donation to the high school, and the high school felt it was most appropriate to our Center of Excellence. And the advisors were there as well. So early Saturday morning, I decided to visit the girls' basketball team for their scrimmage, their practice scrimmage. That was on December 1st. And so I was able to meet some of the girls that were practicing, along with Coach and former board member, Coach Powell. I was especially impressed by Veronica Riddick in the closing minutes of the scrimmage with her reverse layup, which was a move to, beyond all moves. Several of the boys' team were there rooting the girls on because they were waiting to practice, and many of them were taking credit for having taught her that move. I don't know how many actually did, but many of them wanted to take credit for it. So I got to speak with the boys there too. So shout out to the girls' JV and varsity basketball team. Look forward to seeing their season unfold. And I gave a special warm congratulations to the boys' team for such a great season they had last year. And they were hoping for great things this year. They are excited. The boys' varsity basketball team is excited. So I'm looking forward to those games. So good luck to Coach Grassi and all those team members. Sunday, December 2nd, paid respects to a recently deceased retiree from who was a former school nurse. My notes are confusing. Was it Brookhaven or Kramer? It was Brookhaven that Elizabeth Palace was retired from. And then I also attended the services and wish to acknowledge the passing of Barbara Lozides, the mother of custodial worker Ted Lozides from Brookhaven Middle School. Finally today, as Dr. Gianni mentioned, attended the culmination of the 5th grade Frank Long dancing classroom. Education liaison Jessica Hines is a 2004 graduate of Oakland High School and led an animated and high-spirited dance finale, which recognized the courage of each student and expressed her sincere appreciation for Frank P. Long administration and staff for such a successful 10 weeks. Students not only learned about the dancers, but also the origin of them as well. And Vice President Hunt, as much as your daughter may express to you her apprehension over this program, Dr. Gianni and I were witness to her talent and joyfulness at each and every dance. She had every step down.
And she was subbing for the kids that went.
And she subbed for the kids that did that part. So she's not telling you the truth.
I know she's quiet in school, and that's a lot.
Oh my God, she was smiling. She was having a good time. I too would like to thank, also I did want to mention, I did read the program and see that, because my first thought was how is it funded? And it was listed in the program that it's funded in part through the New York State Council of the Arts with the support of Governor Cuomo, the South Country Education Foundation, the Frank P. Long PTA that does wonderful work for Frank P. Long, and BOCE's Art in Education. In closing, I wish to thank my 5th grade partner, Ethan Hiller, for his patience and thoughtfulness in escorting me to the dance floor in the grand finale. So it really was a wonderful day and a wonderful 3 weeks since our last meeting.
You've been a busy day.
It was a busy and very enjoyable time. All right, let's carry on with the rest of our meeting. Do we have any cards for public commentary? Okay, so we'll dispense with reading the guide to board meetings. And now we're item for discussion. Back to Dr. Gianni.
Yes, thank you. Our first item for discussion is for the board to consider the establishment of a repair reserve fund. The general municipal law authorizes the board to establish such a fund by majority vote. Administration recommends this creation of a reserve fund for repairs of capital improvements or equipment which are not of the recurring or annual type. The source of funds for the reserve fund may either be through budgetary appropriations or from revenues not required by law to be paid into any other fund or account. Attached, you will find within your documents, that is, a client memo and resolution prepared by council, which provides further information concerning the establishment of the reserve. As you recall, we did the capital reserve a couple of years ago. This one is a little bit different than that, and in that it can be funded by budgetary lines, and also does not require a vote public to give those payments. It's a vote of the board. Is that correct?
Establish the board's authorization to go to the budget. Typically, that's the budget process.
Yes, but I mean payment out of it, usually.
Correct.
It's not a public vote.
No, it's expenditures out of the fund or by board resolution after a public meeting. The fund is funded through budget appropriations that are in the budget.
So it's a line.
And this is the second time we're speaking of it. The first time it was raised.
Well, we
was the
did,
last meeting.
we talked about it at the last meeting, and I indicated I was bringing it this meeting, and we had communication with you for the update.
Yes.
Yes.
So, it does require the action. Does anybody, well, why don't we take a motion in a second, so if there's discussion, we can have that discussion. Motion in a second, motion by Mr. Nick, second by Ms. Hunt. Okay, now we're in discussion. It's easy to follow the votes, too. So just repeat that again, either both Gianni or both George. So we're establishing a reserve for the specific
It's-
purposes of repairs to building
For repairs,
infrastructure.
and maybe if I give you an example of such a repair, not that this would be one of them. So we have a turf field, costs over $1 million to repair or to replace. That's not an annual type of repair, like changing light bulbs, fixing stuff like this. So the repair reserve would be items such as that are not annual or recurring type. The board can establish the reserve here. It would be funded through a budget line or a transfer that can legally happen that's not appropriate for something else. And then to spend from it, the board can vote on spending from it, and then at the next meeting or after the vote by resolution, you can spend those funds. You don't have to go to the public like the capital reserve to ask to spend.
So just to be clear, it's a repair. A capital improvement is something that increases the value of your assets. A repair fund is something that restores the assets to their original value. So if you have a leak, a break, doors fall off, something that you want to repair, that's the appropriate use of the repair reserve fund. It is funded annually by budget appropriations through your budget process. You make a determination as to what your expenditures would be. There's a public hearing, so it's notified, the public is notified, there's a vote and a resolution to expend funds out of that reserve fund for whatever particular purpose it constitutes a repair.
And I think what's important to point out too is transparency. In creating the reserves, we also will be voting on the amount that will go into the reserve. So there's a board action requiring funding it, and then a public hearing required to release money that has been funded, and ultimately another board action to expend money. Again, adhering to full transparency. Okay? Any other questions? Please, Mrs. Smith.
In terms of actually funding this, is this something that we have to wait to then the next budget cycle to delineate a budget line for it, and then it gets voted on?
Yes,
and
there
then,
would be a budget line in the upcoming budget for that purpose and transfer to the repair reserve.
All right, so So we're just establishing the line right now, there's no funding connected to, okay? All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve, we're ready to vote? Okay, all those in favor of the resolution to establish the repair reserve, as the resolution states, please raise your hand. Thank you, put them down. Seeing all hands raised, the motion to establish the repair reserve fund is approved unanimously.
Thank you. Our second item for discussion is the second reading of the appendix to the Code of Conduct for prohibited gang activity. This appendix has been developed to clarify and bring more detail to what's prohibited gang activity. As previously discussed, administration has informed parents of the intent of this document, warning the dangers of gang membership and mimicking gang signs and symbols. Administration has also been recently trained by our consultant to address sign identification and the context for which it is used. We next plan to inform and instruct our students of these dangers of gang membership and mimicking gang signs and symbols. Administration recommends this appendix and offers the document for the second reading and action.
And has the instructions already started with the students?
No.
So we'll start
We're waiting
after
for
this?
approval, yes.
Okay. All right, we need a motion and a second to approve the code of conduct for the gang appendix. We need a motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Nix, seconded by Ms. Santo. Discussion. Any other discussion?
I think this is a good step we're making. It's much needed. And see that.
Just to comment, the training the administration had, you know that we had training by the troopers and the Suffolk County Police Department last year. The training by the consultants was fantastic. It was just so much better than the law enforcement provided. The administration all commented the same, so we're pretty excited about it.
And is that the PowerPoint show that the board was provided with?
No. I actually don't have the document that he used. It was similar to the PowerPoint that you have or looked at was the one from the troopers. It was similar yet different, and also it was all the delivery too. He was just very, very good, very engaging. I think we got a lot out of it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. You ready to vote? Okay, all those in favor of the gang appendix, please raise your hand. Thank you, put them down. Seeing all hands raised, the motion carries unanimously.
And our next and final item for discussion is the first reading of policy 6121, sexual harassment in the workplace. This policy revision is a result of new state laws aimed at preventing sexual harassment in the workplace. The revised policy is suggested by our policy provider and modeled from the Department of Labor's draft model policy. While having many components of our current policy, this revision is structured quite different, as evident in the track changes as you review that in the documents provided. This policy revision has been reviewed by Strategic Planning Committee and recommended by them, and as well as District Council. I offer this for the board's review and first reading.
So there's no action required tonight. Question, are you hiring outside vendors to actually do the training, or is that going to be internal? That's a good question.
GCN, so for the staff, the video training, and that's acceptable by the state.
Video training, is that what you said?
Yes. We subscribe to.
That was acceptable by the state?
Yes, we
So isn't there
subscribe to, sorry.
Question answer that has to be provided?
No, the one that we have, Global Compliance Network with
Okay.
the GCN, I think they offer as many as 1,000 different training videos that you have to go through the prompts, and at the end, you're able to print out the certificate which goes to their file, but it is acceptable by the state as a form of training. So we want to do that because there is a deadline, and we're going to get that out as soon as this is accepted and in place. We're going to get that training, rolling, so everybody has it. and then we can look at other options for next year.
The deadline was originally the end of this year, but it has been extended, but I don't recall what it was extended to.
It's October.
It was in October, but it's within the first year the training is required.
Okay.
And what we had done is reminded staff of our current policy and provided them with the model policy, just to try to cover all bases, so that the information was out there.
All right, so we will see this again on
January
our
9th.
January 9th. Okay.
And those are all the items I have for discussion.
All right, we have some more board consent agenda
Yes,
items
Yes.
under curriculum.
Moving along to curriculum. Administration recommends approval of curriculum items reflected in schedules G1 and G2.
Okay. We need a motion and a second for G1 and G2. Motion by Ms. Hunt, seconded by Mr. Nix. Any discussion? No discussion? Are you ready for the vote? Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. Down, seeing all hands raised. Item G1 through 3 are approved unanimously. 1 through 2.
And administration recommends approval of personnel changes reflected in schedules H1 through H10.
Okay. Once again, motion and a second needed. Mr. Nix and so. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. H1 through 10. Thank you, put them down. Seeing all hands raised, H1 through 10 has passed unanimously.
Before moving to business, I'd like to announce and congratulate Mr. Johnny Rojas. The board has just accepted and approved tenure as a math teacher at Belport High School, effective January 4th. So congratulations, Johnny. Johnny is not here this evening, so we will make sure that he's aware of that tomorrow. Moving on to business, administration recommends approval of business items reflected in Schedule I-1 through I-14.
Okay. I-1 through I-14, we need a motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Nix, second by Ms. Hunt. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of I-1 through I-14, please raise your hands. Thank you. Put your hands down, and seeing all hands raised, motions I-1 through 14 passes unanimously.
And that is all I have for that, please.
That brings us to the final public commentary. Do we have any cards? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board? Seeing no. You, Mr. White? You, Mr. White? I thought you were making a comment.
Oh, no.
No?
I'm laughing.
You good tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, closing remarks. We'll start with you, Mr. Nix.
I just hope everyone has a good holiday season. That's all. Keep it short. Final meeting of the year. Yeah.
And then I'll wait. Do you have anything? So I'll go on this side.
I have to agree with Mr. Nix. Happy holidays, everyone.
All right, thank you, Carly. Mr. Santa.
Have to reiterate that. Happy and healthy holiday to everyone.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you to Life Touch National School Studios for the donation of $1,000 to support scholarships. Thank you to Miss Erica Della Rosa for her donation of $250 AP coordinator stipend to support high school student activities. And thank you to Chess Sanity for donating 22 chess sets and boards along with 3 chess tactic books for chess clubs at Frank P. Long, Belport Middle School, and Belport High School. Everybody have a happy holiday.
Thank you. Okay. In my closing remarks, on behalf of the entire Board of Education, and I'm sure I speak for administration as well, please accept our heartfelt wishes for a happy, healthy, and peaceful holiday season. Today, on this day of remembrance of our nation's 41st President, President George H.W. Bush, I would like to ask all our trustees and leaders within the Suffolk County Central School District to be mindful of their commitment to our district. Let's move forward into 2009, much in the way President Bush was remembered today. Serve with integrity, lead with courage, and govern with heart. It's an honor and privilege to serve the students and residents of South Country. We will see you all in your upcoming concerts, and especially in the new year. Have a good night and safe trip home, everyone. With that, we'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms. Hunt, seconded by Ms. Cassandra. All those in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for attending, and thank you for watching.